I'm just grateful to grow with you. I promise to never give up and to keep going. We got this. Everything is already written. He has given me a new song to sing, a new hymn of praise to our God. Many will see what he has done and be amazed. They will put their trust in the Lord. Amen. Yo, that's what's...
The internet woke up expecting the usual celebrity chaos, but instead it got something nobody saw coming. Chrisean Rock, a woman whose life usually feels like a non-stop episode of reality TV drama, suddenly dropped something completely different. No screaming matches, no viral arguments, no messy relationship headlines. Just a few photos of her son, and a message that instantly sent social media into emotional overload. Now, if you know the internet, you already know peace never stays peaceful for long. One simple post can turn into a viral discussion faster than a celebrity breakup rumor. And the moment Chrisean shared those adorable pictures, timelines across Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok lit up like a Christmas tree. Fans weren't just reacting. They were analyzing every detail like internet detectives on caffeine. The photos themselves looked innocent enough. Just a mother sharing a proud moment with her child. But the caption? That's where things got interesting. Chrisean added a heartfelt message to her son that instantly caught people off guard. The tone felt emotional, reflective, and surprisingly calm compared to the chaotic headlines usually surrounding her name, and just like that, the internet split into two completely different camps. One side of social media melted immediately. Fans started calling the moment wholesome, emotional, even inspiring. They flooded the comments with heart emojis, praising Chrisean for focusing on motherhood and showing a softer side of her life. But the other side of the internet? Oh, they were not buying the peaceful narrative so easily. Critics began asking questions. They started bringing up past drama, resurfacing old headlines, and debating whether this moment was genuine or simply another chapter in the never-ending internet saga surrounding Chrisean Rock. Because let's be honest, when someone whose life has been surrounded by controversy suddenly posts something heartfelt, the internet doesn't just react. To understand why a simple photo post created so much noise online, you have to understand something about Chrisean Rock's internet history. Because this isn't just any celebrity sharing a sweet moment with their child. This is someone whose life has played out online like a never-ending reality show, where every week seems to bring a new headline, a new controversy, or a new viral moment. So when Chrisean suddenly posts something peaceful, the internet doesn't just smile and scroll. It pauses and starts analyzing everything. The moment started quietly. Chrisean uploaded a few pictures of her son looking happy, calm, and completely unaware of the chaos that usually surrounds his mother's name online. The photos felt simple and personal, but the caption attached to those images instantly caught attention. Instead of drama or cryptic messages, she wrote a heartfelt note expressing love for her son and reflecting on motherhood, and just like that, the comment section exploded. Fans immediately flooded the post with supportive messages. Some people said the pictures were adorable. Others said the message showed a completely different side of Chrisean that many viewers rarely get to see. For a moment, the internet actually looked like it was enjoying something wholesome instead of arguing about the usual celebrity drama. But of course, social media rarely stays peaceful for long, because while many people celebrated the moment, others started bringing up the complicated backstory surrounding Chrisean's life. Over the past few years, she has been one of the most talked about personalities online. From her highly publicized relationship with Blueface to countless viral arguments and emotional live streams, Chrisean has rarely experienced a quiet moment on the internet. So naturally, critics began questioning whether this post represented a genuine personal moment or simply another chapter in the public drama surrounding her life. Some users argued that Chrisean deserves the same space any parent should have to celebrate their child. They said the internet often forgets that celebrities are still human beings who experience real emotions and real relationships with their families. In their eyes, the post was just a mother expressing love for her son. But another group of viewers looked at the situation differently. They pointed out that Chrisean's entire public image has been built around chaotic viral moments. Because of that, many people have become used to seeing headlines about arguments, fights, and controversies involving her. So when a peaceful post suddenly appears, some fans instinctively wonder if there's a deeper story behind it. And that's exactly how the conversation started growing. Soon reaction videos began appearing across TikTok and YouTube. Content creators were discussing the photos, reading the caption, and sharing their own opinions about what the post meant. Some creators praised the moment and said it showed maturity and growth from Chrisean. Others questioned whether the internet should trust the sudden shift toward emotional posts. Meanwhile, gossip pages and drama blogs started amplifying the discussion. Headlines appeared suggesting the photos had shocked fans because they showed a calmer side of Chrisean that rarely appears in viral headlines. Screenshots of the post began circulating across social media platforms, and every repost brought new reactions from people discovering the story. For the first time at this point, the situation had already turned into a trending topic, and the reactions became even more interesting when fans started comparing this moment to the drama that has surrounded Chrisean's life in the past. People began discussing her journey over the past few years, pointing out how often her personal struggles have been broadcast across social media. Some viewers felt the post showed someone trying to focus on motherhood and move forward from past chaos. Others believed the internet was simply witnessing another emotional moment in a story that has already been filled with dramatic highs and lows. Either way, the attention kept growing. The more people talked about the photos, the more they spread across the internet. Influencers began commenting on the situation. Fans continued debating whether the post represented personal growth or just another viral moment. And in the middle of all this discussion, one detail kept catching everyone's attention: the message Chrisean wrote to her son, because the words she used felt surprisingly sincere compared to the dramatic tone usually associated with her name online. She spoke about love, protection, and the hope of giving her child a better future. For many viewers, that message changed the way they looked at the entire story. It reminded people that behind the viral headlines and internet debates, there is a real person experiencing motherhood in front of millions of viewers. And that realization created a wave of emotional reactions from fans who suddenly saw the situation through a different perspective. But while many people were touched by the moment, others remained skeptical. Some critics pointed out that social media often turns personal moments into public narratives. They argued that the internet tends to celebrate emotional posts one day and criticize the same person the next. Because of that, they questioned whether the positive reaction would last. And honestly, that question started another wave of debate, because the internet doesn't just react to stories. It constantly reshapes them. Within hours, the post had transformed from a simple family moment into a massive online discussion about Chrisean's life, her public image, and the complicated relationship between celebrities and social media. But what most people didn't realize yet was that this viral reaction was only the beginning, because as more people started reacting to the photos and the heartfelt message, new opinions, unexpected commentary, and even bigger debates were about to take over the internet. And once those reactions started rolling in, the story was about to become even more chaotic than anyone expected. Now, if you thought the internet would simply admire the pictures, drop a few heart emojis, and move on with life, you clearly forgot how social media actually works. Because the second Chrisean Rock's post started gaining serious traction, the reactions exploded in every possible direction. One minute it was a wholesome motherhood moment, and the next minute the internet had turned it into a full-blown debate panel. Like a chaotic episode of reality TV, first came the emotional reactions. Fans, who have followed Chrisean's roller coaster life online, suddenly saw a completely different version of her. Instead of the loud, controversial personality the internet is used to seeing, they saw a mother showing love and vulnerability. Comment sections filled with people saying things like, "This is the Chrisean we want to see," and "Protect this little boy at all costs." For a brief moment, social media looked unusually supportive, but then, the other side of the internet arrived. And let's just say they were not handing out heart emojis. Critics quickly began resurfacing past headlines like internet historians digging through old newspapers. They started bringing up previous controversies involving Chrisean and asking whether the wholesome moment should erase the chaos that has surrounded her life over the last few years. In typical internet fashion, the conversation shifted from celebration to investigation within minutes. Soon, TikTok creators jumped into the discussion like commentators at a championship match. Some creators defended Chrisean passionately, arguing that motherhood changes people and that everyone deserves room to grow. They pointed out that social media often traps celebrities inside the worst moments of their past, refusing to acknowledge when someone tries to move forward. But other creators had a completely different perspective. They claimed the internet has a short memory and warned fans not to treat every emotional post as proof of transformation. According to them, social media thrives on viral narratives. And sometimes those narratives shift simply because audiences enjoy a dramatic storyline. And that's when the memes started, because nothing fuels internet drama quite like memes during a trending celebrity moment. Some users joked that Chrisean had suddenly entered her calm era, comparing the situation to reality shows where a chaotic character suddenly becomes the emotional heart of the season. Others joked that the internet was reacting like proud relatives watching a redemption arc unfold. The memes were everywhere. But the most interesting reactions came from commentary channels and gossip blogs. These pages treated the post like breaking entertainment news, analyzing every detail of the photos and caption. Some blogs framed the moment as a powerful turning point in Chrisean's public image. Others suggested the internet might be overanalyzing a simple family moment that wasn't meant to spark controversy in the first place. Either way, the discussion continued growing, and then the situation became even more intense when fans started dragging Blueface's name back into the conversation. Now, if you know anything about internet drama, you know that once Blueface enters the narrative, things instantly get louder. People begin speculating about how the post related to their complicated history, with some fans arguing that the photos represented Chrisean focusing on motherhood instead of relationship chaos. Others weren't convinced. Some users insisted the internet was rewriting the story too quickly. They argued that one emotional post doesn't erase years of viral drama and public arguments. And as those debates continued, the conversation began shifting away from the photos themselves and toward the bigger story surrounding Chrisean's life. At this point, the internet was basically hosting a giant group discussion about celebrity growth. Some fans believed the post showed maturity and emotional reflection. Others believed the moment was simply another viral chapter in a long series of headlines. But regardless of which side people supported, one thing became obvious. The post had captured the internet's full attention. Even influencers and public figures began reacting. A few online personalities praised the message Chrisean wrote to her son, saying it showed vulnerability rarely seen in celebrity culture. Others reminded viewers that parenting under the spotlight is incredibly difficult, especially when millions of strangers feel entitled to comment on every detail. And honestly, they weren't wrong, because the more the conversation grew, the more people began realizing something interesting about the entire situation. What started as a personal post between a mother and her child had turned into a massive public discussion about identity, growth, and the strange relationship between celebrities and social media audiences. And that realization created an unexpected shift in tone. Some fans who initially joined the debate suddenly started defending Chrisean more strongly, arguing that the internet often forgets the human side of viral stories. Others continued questioning whether the positive reaction would last once the next controversy inevitably appeared, because if there's one thing the internet is known for, it's inconsistency. One day someone is praised as inspirational, and the next day they're trending for an entirely different reason. That unpredictable cycle is exactly what keeps online drama constantly evolving. But while people were busy debating Chrisean's post, another interesting thing started happening behind the scenes. The photos continued spreading. Every repost brought new audiences into the conversation. People who hadn't seen the original post were suddenly discovering the story through reaction videos, commentary threads, and viral memes. And with each new viewer came another opinion, another debate, and another layer of speculation. By this point, the moment had officially become a viral event, but just when the internet thought it had fully processed the situation, a new wave of reactions started appearing. And those reactions were about to push the story into an even bigger conversation about Chrisean's future, her reputation, and the unpredictable way the internet decides who deserves redemption, because once the dust started settling, the real question began floating across social media timelines everywhere: was this simply a touching moment between a mother and her son? By the time the internet finished arguing about Chrisean Rock's post, the story had already grown far bigger than anyone expected. What started as a simple moment between a mother and her child had somehow transformed into a full-scale online discussion about growth, redemption, and the strange way social media controls celebrity narratives. And honestly, watching the entire situation unfold felt like witnessing the final episode of a reality show season, where everyone suddenly pauses and asks what the story actually means, because once the viral excitement started slowing down, people began stepping back and looking at the bigger picture. For years, Chrisean Rock has been one of the most unpredictable personalities on the internet. Her name has appeared in headlines connected to explosive arguments, emotional live streams, relationship drama, and viral controversies that spread across social media within hours. The internet has watched nearly every moment of her journey like an ongoing series that never seems to end. So when fans suddenly saw photos of her peacefully celebrating her son, it created a powerful contrast with the image people were used to seeing, and that contrast is exactly why the internet reacted so strongly. Some viewers believed the moment represented genuine growth. They argued that becoming a parent often changes the way people see the world. In their eyes, the message Chrisean wrote to her son felt sincere, emotional, and protective. They believed the post showed someone trying to focus on motherhood instead of the chaos that has surrounded her life in the past. But of course, not everyone saw the story that way. Another group of critics continued questioning whether the internet was simply falling for another emotional moment without considering the larger context of Chrisean's history. They pointed out that social media often creates dramatic narratives where celebrities appear to transform overnight, even though real change usually takes much longer to happen, and that disagreement created one final wave of debate, because the truth is, the internet loves a redemption story almost as much as it loves drama. Some fans began describing the post as the beginning of a new chapter for Chrisean. They talked about how powerful it would be to see her focus on building a better future for her child instead of continuing the cycle of viral chaos. For those supporters, the photos represented hope that things might be changing behind the scenes. Others remained skeptical. They argued that social media often celebrates emotional moments without acknowledging how complicated real life can be. According to them, the internet sometimes turns a single post into a symbol of transformation, even when the full story is still unfolding. And honestly, both perspectives captured something important about the situation, because while millions of people were debating the meaning behind the photos, the reality was much simpler. At its core, the post showed a mother expressing love for her child in front of a massive online audience that constantly analyzes her every move. That realization slowly changed the tone of the conversation. Instead of focusing only on Chrisean's past controversies, more fans begin discussing how difficult it must be to experience motherhood under the microscope of social media. Every moment becomes public. Every decision gets judged. And even a heartfelt message to a child can suddenly become a global debate. In a strange way, the viral reaction actually revealed more about internet culture, and it did about Chrisean herself, because the moment demonstrated how quickly social media turns personal experiences into public entertainment. A post that may have been intended for family and supporters instantly became a trending topic analyzed by millions of strangers, and that's where the final twist of the story appeared. While the internet continued debating the deeper meaning behind the photos. Chrisean herself seemed completely unfazed by the noise. She continued posting normally, sharing moments from her life and interacting with supporters the same way she always has. In other words, the massive discussion happening online didn't appear to change her behavior at all, and that detail made the entire situation even more fascinating, because, while viewers treated the post like a dramatic turning point in her life story, it may have simply been a mother sharing a proud moment with her child. But the internet rarely sees things that simply. Instead, social media loves building narratives, connecting moments together, and creating storylines that feel larger than reality. In this case, the photos of Chrisean's son became a symbol of something bigger, a moment that forced people to reconsider how they view her. Some saw hope for change. Others saw another viral headline. But everyone saw a story worth discussing. And that might be the real reason the post spread so quickly, because behind the memes, debates, and viral reactions, the photos reminded people of something surprisingly simple, even in the middle of internet chaos. Emotional moments still capture attention, but the biggest question left behind, after the viral storm slowly faded, was this: will this moment truly mark the start of a calmer chapter in Chrisean Rock's unpredictable story?